So, you're a classic Tetris player or fan, and you're interested in the newest, latest, and greatest fad, rolling. Well, so is I. My name's Matt Martin, or Rookout Rogue on Twitch, and I was a DAS player exclusively with a high score of 1,290,000 points, and that just wasn't cutting it anymore, to be honest, with these new rollers. So I'd like to take some time and make a video kind of journaling my progress so far. I've been rolling for about 2.5 months. I've gone from tragic and using my teeth and all these other weird grips to now I have a 752,000, and I was able to clear 13 lines on level 29. Never thought I'd be able to play 29, and I'm starting to have some fun with it. So if you take away anything from this video, first and foremost, I'd say if a noob like me can do it, you absolutely can. It's a grind. The first month and a half is like really can be a struggle, and you're just gonna like have a lot of self-doubt and say you can't do it, but you absolutely can. It's just learning different little subtle things that might help, different grips, different techniques that might further you like one step further down the journey, and you can absolutely do it. Just don't be afraid to experiment with different grips and don't give up. Like you can do it. So let's get going on some like tips and tricks. Alright, so I'm gonna call it the control hand that does the rotations and the D-pad pressure, and then the roll hand. On the control hand, I've heard some people complain that like spreading the hand out is tough, like a piano player, like spreading it out horizontally like that. And I'd say to that, think of it turning your hand more this way and reaching more vertically. I think of it vertically, more that way, because there's less strain on the hand rather than holding like this and doing some weird stuff. Just turn the hand a bit more this way and you're just like flipping over here, and you got plenty of hand real estate to just do the thumb pressure. You can get a Goofy Foot controller at TotalRadness.com. I don't have one yet. I have one ordered, but it's not here yet. So I've been playing with just a standard NES controller. Normally, I'm playing like vertically now, or for a while I was playing kind of upside down. So getting used to flipping your brain with left and right being right and left, like backwards, is tough, but harder than that is rotations. And I wish that I could tell you a tip or trick to get used to flipping a button with a different hand, because now I'm using my left hand rather than my right hand for rotations. And I wish that I could make that easier for you. I can't. It just takes time. Yeah, and by time, I mean it took me probably 6 to 8 weeks to, and I still flip a piece the wrong way sometimes. But for 6 weeks or so of playing 5 days a week, probably 4 hours a day, it was just flipping pieces the wrong way the whole time. Maybe start on lower levels and really like get that muscle memory in your brain of what is A and what is B now. But yeah, that just takes time. All right, let's talk about the roll hand. Less complicated than the control hand, but takes a lot of probably muscle memory and practice to get used to. My boy Fractal said get a metronome app or a metronome and practice with ding 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 ding, like getting each input good. Go slowly until you can go fast. But I kind of just skipped over that and practiced it all on the regular Tetris screen. But if you're finding that you're having trouble with the pinky and ring finger, some people are weirdos and roll from index. You know, some people roll that way. I can't even do it. Some people do thumb first and then pinky. They say that it helps spread the fingers out more. And that's kind of a tip I'd say is, especially pinky and ring finger, if you're struggling to get them separated, think of your fingers more horizontally and vertically separated. So like try to create a lot of space between all the fingers. if you're finding that pinky and ring finger, you just can't get them to move the right way. I had a trick where I was eliminating the pinky, just don't use the pinky, and go ring, middle, first, thumb, and then flip the hand really quickly to hit like a knuckle on the back. And it was, I still do it sometimes when I miss my input on the pinky. I think it's probably just as effective. It's not like maybe optimal, but it's good as a crutch for a while you're learning. Crutches. Pro tip. If you're on the journey of rolling and you're new and you're going to give up because it's frustrating, don't. Use crutches along the way. What I mean by that is use suboptimal techniques to get you one step closer to getting the optimal technique. For me, it was this. It was rolling with the back of my hand, which I still think maybe even optimal. It was trying to use a hard surface, like using my knee to get the, which still, if I could roll on my knee, I would, because I never miss. Actually, I missed a lot right there. But using a hard surface, I was using my knee or a table. That's what got me to teeth rolling, which was, people thought was a joke, but it wasn't at first. I thought it was going to be my optimal technique, was pushing against the hard surface of my teeth to get the reverb, the reaction on the controller. Just did some 5 taps. Like, it's not bad, but switching between left and right was the problem with that. And you also look like a doof. But I was fine with looking like an idiot to get better at rolling. And that's what you got to do sometimes. What else? I did back of the hand flips. I did teeth rolling. I did... Oh, for a while I was trying to use my knuckles. I still think there might be something there. I actually rawed some spots off on like 8 different knuckles, I think. I tried this way, I tried up. What other things have I used? Oh, here's one that my buddy DMJ, David, came up with, was a simple yet brilliant technique. Use a rubber band over your leg to help hold the controller against your legs so it doesn't vibrate out of the way too much. Like, that can help as a crutch, again. Maybe forever, but maybe just as a crutch to get you more used to holding the grip that way. It can kind of hold some pressure on it for you. So experiment around with that. Alright, so let's talk about gloves. A lot of players use gloves. I'd say most rollers right now are preferring gloves. I think I have pretty dry hands, so I haven't noticed any sticking of the fingers to create more friction and slow down the rolls. So for me, the glove hasn't been like super helpful yet. But if you are gonna get a glove, my boy Miles recommended a thin silk glove. That's what I got. I just found one. My wife found one on Amazon. Because we couldn't find one locally. But yeah, just a thin silk material, something that creates very little friction and can just slide off the controller easily. Yeah, so that's gloves. I won't talk much about them because I don't really use them, but most people find that really helps. All right, let's talk about some grips, and let's bring the camera down for some of these grip tricks. First and foremost, I'd say don't be afraid to experiment with all different ways of holding the controller in different grips. That's going to get you further and further along the journey. So different grips. First, I kind of started with a horizontal grip, kind of like a diving board off the edge of the leg there. Anchoring with the middle and ring finger, rotating with the index finger, D-pad, thumb, and rolling upwards against the controller. So that's one grip. Again, you can do like a more curved claw hand. You can do flatter fingers. A lot of players do flat hands. I tend to claw it a little bit. So from that grip, we went to, we did the teeth grip already. Then I went to leg, a more vertical grip. I've seen Miles, Richie, a lot of people do this vertical grip. Richie does anchors the controller with his index finger and rotates with middle finger, I believe. That would take me a while to relearn the rotations with a different finger. But he does that kind of grip, I believe. And I think there's something to that with anchoring with this finger. Kind of keeps the controller more stable. Because a lot of times when I'm anchoring down here with the index and ring, or the middle and ring, I tend to knock the controller around sometimes out of my hands. It's not too bad. I'm getting better at it. But once in a while I knock the controller sideways. So then I thought, okay, instead of... This one's hard to control. And there's variations on this vertical grip too. There's knees together where you kind of have more support there. That's something to try out. There's legs apart. But then I went to foot grip. And with foot grip, I have these little Nintendo controller slippers, which are awesome. But they have a little bit of non-slip grip on the bottom. These little dots here that are shiny. But that helped hold the controller a little bit. So that I was really enjoying. And foot grip, I think, is very good. The problem with foot grip is, and I'm kind of bouncing back and forth between foot grip and this vertical leg grip. Foot grip is great, but it really starts to wear out your hip and your back. Just different joints can become problems, honestly, when you're sitting there for multiple hours at a time. So I don't know. I don't know if foot grip is going to be the long-term solution, but hey, PokeNerd is using it, and there's some others that have really mastered foot grip. I really like it. I do. But like I said, it wears on some of my joints. So I don't think it's the long-term solution for me. But if you find some socks or some slippers that have like a non-slip kind of deal here, that can really be helpful to hold the controller. But what I've learned now is if I change into shorts, then you can get some more grip on the leg there when it's controller to skin contact. It kind of grips the controller a little bit more for you. Granted, it's not as attractive of a camera shot when you don't have some good denim on and you're just showing leg and some hairy leg at that. But I'm finding this so far has been my best. Hold the controller still and get the action I need. I'm actually getting some pretty good 5 taps from this too when I can force my arm against the leg with some pressure. Seems like that's been pretty good for my 5 taps. But also, more importantly, it's not wearing out my hip and my ankle and all these different things for the long term, for the long sessions there. All right, so back into some jeans, and we'll get the camera back up here to a better shot now, hopefully. So yeah, in conclusion, if you're gonna roll, you can absolutely do it. Try a lot of grips, experiment around with different holds on the controller. Know that it's going to be a process and it's going to take time. The first 6 to 8 weeks, again, that's going to be different for everybody depending on how much practice time you have. But the first bit is going to be frustrating. A lot of negative talk to yourself probably if you're anything like me. And just know that you can, like so many people have pushed through that boundary now, and you can absolutely do it as a DAS player going straight from DAS to roll. You don't have to be a tapper first. So get to it. There's no substitute for practice and time. So get in there, get on the level select screen, practice slowly if that helps you until you can do the faster things. But yeah, be encouraged. Absolutely you can do it. It's frustrating, it takes time. I'd say reach out to other players, hit me up. I'm Rookout Rogue on Twitch, Instagram. We got a Discord server. Just find me out there and find other players who have done the journey. Any of them I've talked to have been super encouraging. Everybody in the Tetris community that I've ever met has been encouraging in that. And we all have started on those journeys, and people are at different places. But I'm kind of new at it. But again, as an older player, older in the community, I'm 36. As an older DAS player, I'm getting there. I mean, I went in 2.5 months. I've gone from being completely garbage at rolling to a 752,000 score. So yeah, you can do it. But hit up other players, talk to them, ask for advice, ask for help, ask for just encouragement. For me, I got on there and just complained sometimes, and like just asked the better guys for like some encouragement along the way. So yeah, just be part of the group, be part of the community, have fun with it, experiment around with different grips. Yeah, and just know that it's a little bit of a grind, but you can absolutely do it. Get rolling, and I'll see you out there. I'll say there's also something to being bad at Tetris again. If you consider yourself a good DAS player or tapper or what have you, and you've climbed the ladder and maybe you're a max out player wherever you're at, whatevs, to start back at the beginning of like, oh, I can barely get like 50,000 points or stack or score a Tetris on whatever level, like that can be sad in some ways, but it's also Sam Finch, I believe, was with me with like, he kind of encouraged me like, there's something nice about starting over and being bad at Tetris again. Like there's something good about starting from scratch again. I don't know, like it's a new challenge, it's a new Tetris journey. So it's been fun. It's been frustrating and fun, and I would encourage anyone that's even the slight bit interested in it to get in there and practice and try, because it can absolutely be just a blast and rewarding. So yeah, anyways, thanks for watching. Love you so much, and we'll see you out there on the Tetris boards. All right, peace.